Okay, I'm back. So yes, I didn't want to believe that we were approaching that time where my mom was starting to slow down, and she was, not able to really do all the things that she used to do for herself. And I just didn't want to believe it, even though, especially once you become a young adult, these things differently. When you're a teenager, you don't think about, your parents getting older and you having to help them. You're just not thinking about that at that time. But as a young adult, you start kind of thinking about that, right? So I always knew, of course, that that day was going to come where mom is really going to need her family. She's really going to need me, really need her family to help her. And, like I said, I was in denial, not wanting to really accept that we are here at that time where she really does need me, need her family. She's slowing down, kind of hard. It was kind of hard to accept. But then I realized that a lot of things was gonna fall on me because I was right here with mommy in her city. So, a lot fell on me. I think my young adults, but they are also in another city, same state, but in a different city, not far. So if I needed them, I could call for them to come and help as well. And then my nieces are also here. So, we have a small family here in this city. Our family is really scattered into other cities. Philly, Georgia, California, they're all over. New Jersey, South Carolina, we have some people. So our family is just spread out. But here with mom, mainly it was me. As challenging as it can be, as hard as it can be to become a caregiver, I wouldn't have it any other way. And that journey of being, accepting being a caregiver, because you have to accept it first. Like I said, I was in denial for a minute. And then once, I started just seeing things a lot more clearly, and I'm like, okay, this is really happening. Like, mom needs help. You're really starting to slow down and just need some more help. So yes, you have to first accept that this is where we are in this season. We are approaching that season. You have to accept it. As much as you don't want to, you have to accept it. And that eventually I was like, okay, I gotta be here for my mom. I have to do right by my mom in this way. With no hesitation. Like, I knew I was gonna eventually say, yes, I have to do this. But, like I said, I didn't want to believe that we were actually here, if that makes sense. And I know I kind of keep repeating that, but that was truly a little bit of a challenge for me. It's hard. It is a challenge accepting it. But once I did, I immediately started, reorganizing things, because I knew I was going to have to handle her affairs. I was going to have to handle my stuff. And it was going to be a lot. So I had to really readjust my organization to accommodate the things that my mom needed. So, yeah, you have to really just kind of set yourself up to be able to handle the load. And I had to keep things separate. I had folders especially for mom and her papers and doctor's visits and, all of that stuff, because I eventually had to also pay her bills and make sure things got paid. It's a lot. There is a lot that you have to do when you become a caregiver. And I was doing this, y'all, by myself. I had support of my aunties. They're in a different state. They would, definitely calling me and, checking in. My uncle, like, we had a family group chat. So I definitely had support. My children, my brother and his his daughters, my nieces, we had a family group chat that we kept running. And yeah, that was very helpful, and prayers and everybody praying. And so that was very helpful. So although hands-on, I was the main one, but I did have my family supporting me. And you gotta have that, you guys. You gotta have support. Family support, church support, wherever you can get support going through grief, latch on to that, okay? Latch on to that and hold on to them. Because you're gonna, seriously, you will need the support, because there are gonna be days where you're gonna have, you're gonna be really emotional, you're gonna feel overwhelmed, you're gonna feel, you're gonna feel sometimes frustrated that everything is falling into your lap. You're gonna have those feelings, as you take on that role of being a caregiver. But like I said, I would not have had it any other way. My mom was the queen of this family, and there is absolutely no way I was not going to roll into the role of being her caregiver. Mommy always called me her best friend. She always said I was her best friend, right? And as her best friend and daughter, I needed to make sure she was going to be good, that things were going to be in order, that things were going to get done, that I was going to do things with integrity, and just do things right, do it honestly, make sure things got paid. And I asked God to help me in being a caregiver for my mom. Help me to do this right. Help me to honor Mommy and her life and all that she has done for me, our family. I wanted to do it right. That was my whole thing. And I think sometimes when we're in denial, we may feel like, am I going to be able to do this? You know what I mean? Like, can I do this? You start to feel like that. And all I know is I just wanted to do it right. I wanted to honor Mommy in the most highest way possible, right? And I have to say, I'm proud of how I handle things. And I don't want to jump ahead, but I am absolutely proud, and I know my mom is too. And yeah. So once I accepted the role of being a caregiver, my church, my amazing church, has a ministry that helps people who are going through grief, or preparing for that time, or has already gone through it, or currently going through it. They have a phenomenal ministry that supports family members and people, caregivers who are walking through this season. And I needed to connect and have extra support. Although I had support of my mom's friends, my family, my friends, I had support, but church support, it just hits on a different level, right? Because everything that's going to come from the church is going to be scripture based. It's going to be how God wants us to walk out this season. So I just knew I was going to connect, right? And I did. I made the phone call, sent the email, I got connected, and we had, it was a 10-week course session, not sure what to call it, but it was for 10 weeks long. So it was, And when we when we got towards the end of it, I wanted it to continue. Like, I didn't want it to end. It was absolutely amazing. We had to, you know, we had assignments, and we discussed them together. We prayed together. We shared our experiences and what we're going through, and fellowship. We laughed. Like, we did all the things. We laughed, we cried. Some people shared their frustration, including myself, you know, because it can be heavy and it can weigh on you and it can be frustrating. Like, you can have all the emotions, okay? To keep it honest, like, you're gonna feel all the emotions. And so we brought that to our sessions, and we shared, and it was an amazing release. It was an amazing release of those emotions. Okay. Y'all, I'm sorry. I feel like the lighting is not the best right now. So yes, if you have any type of ministry at your church that offers, you know, just counseling and group discussions for people who are going through grief, connect with them within your church. You know, as long as you feel comfortable within your church, and you know that's something you want to do, I encourage it, because I've been with my church for years, and I just know everything that they do, it's going to be done well. It's going to be just an excellent thing to be a part of, and I just trust my church. And so I knew I was going to connect and go through that. And like I said, I loved it. I could not wait. I think it was Tuesday nights we met. I couldn't wait for that night to come around. Like, I could not wait to just connect and share and, you know, just be with everybody who is going through the same thing that I'm going through, right? Because there's nothing like people who feel what you feel, right? You need that. And so I did that, and it was phenomenal. So yeah, you know, I think I'm at 15 minutes. I don't want this to be super long, and the lighting is not the best tonight. I know I'm in my car. It's dark. So I'm going to stop right here, just giving you a little bit more of what I meant by being in denial, because that is a very real thing. You know, you may feel it, others may feel it. It's a very real thing. No one ever wants to believe that, wow, my mom, you know, she is unable to do all the things that she used to do, and she needs our help, you know. But yeah, there's a little bit more I want to share about that, but I'm going to end it with this. Okay. I was at my mom's place, and I don't know if I had just came back from seeing her at, because she was in therapy, like a rehabilitation place. That's where she eventually had to go to, and she ended up being there long term, and that is where she eventually passed. But this particular night, I think I had just visited her, you know, and I may have been just feeling just overwhelmed and, you know, just a little emotional. But one of her friends saw me, and she told me that, she said, I want to say this to you, because somebody told me this when I was going through what you're going through. And she said, I know you may feel overwhelmed. You may feel like a lot is on you. You may feel like you don't want to do this, right? But she said that just know that everything that is coming your way, that is falling in your lap, that you have to do as it relates to your mom, she said, just know that all it's coming to you for a reason. You are the one that was chosen for this season. And she said, and it's because God trusts you. And y'all, when she told me that, in that moment, I just started crying, and I just wanted to hug her. I just grabbed hold of her, and I just cried my eyes out. Because number one, I was blown away of the fact that just even thinking about God trusts me. He trusts me with this. God trusts me. Like, just even hearing that God trusts you. That was mind blowing, and that made me cry. That made me cry more than anything else I was feeling. That made me cry in that moment. Just the thought of him trusting me. And then I started crying because I was feeling overwhelmed, and I was feeling, it's a heavy weight. It's a heavy weight that you have to carry. And, her sharing that with me could not have been shared at a more perfect time. I needed to hear that. It was encouraging. It also was a way for me to release. Like, I cried out on her shoulder, in her arms. I cried, y'all. Cried out. So it was a release of the things that I was carrying, just trying to be strong through it all. And, I never wanted to bring everything that I was feeling to my children or to family. And I know sometimes you have to, and I would release certain things to them. But for the most part, I was holding it down, you guys. I was praying, talking to God. He was holding me. I was taking everything to God for the most part. And if I needed to talk to my aunts or my uncle, I would call them, or my daughter, my son. If I just need encouragement for them, I would call them, or my brother, I would call them. But mostly I was going to God. And that alone is how I was able to keep getting up every day, knowing that I may have to take care of this, take care of that, go see mom, pay this bill, or go to the store, or do this, because her significant other was back at home, and so I would have to check in on him. It was a lot, y'all. But I'm just going to end it right there, and I hope that what I just said blesses you. If you are that one that has carrying the load and is doing everything in this season of either being a caregiver or going through grief, I hope that you will grab hold of that and know that if everything is coming in your lap and falling in your lap, and you're feeling like everything is coming your way in this season, it's because God trusts you. If you feel like you are the chosen one for this season, it's because God trusts you. He trusts you with it. So hold that close to your heart, because I'm telling you, that blessed me so much. But you guys, it's 22 minutes. I'm going to stop here because I'm in my car, and I need to get going. But thank you for listening to me. And again, I hope you guys can pull something from what it is that I'm sharing. Really, that's the only reason why I'm sharing it, because I am a private person and I'm very selective on what I share. But I know this journey of grief and what I walked through with my mom is not meant for me to hold on to for myself. I need to share this with people who, like I said, may be going through the same season with their mom, their dad, or any other loved one. I am here to share what I went through, what I've learned from it. I'm going to end it right here. Thank you again for listening. Please leave a comment. Let me know if something, is helping you or Are you going through a season of being a caregiver? Or, you know, if you've lost a loved one, a mom, a dad, a family member, I want to hear from you. I like to be engaged with people that are following me and have conversation and, you know, just share and to be able to pull from you guys. Like, I want to pull from other people as well, something that can help me. You just never know what can help you in your life. So I really want us to be engaged and share and learn from one another, support one another. So if you have any thoughts or if you're able to pull anything from this, let me know in the comments section. I would love to read it and to just have some dialogue with you. So anyway, I hope you have a good evening and thank you again for listening, and I will see you on Monday. Monday is going to be my posting day for now. I didn't get to do it yesterday, so I'm doing it tonight, but next Monday I will have another video uploaded. So thank you again.